Hey, good morning,
Hey
everybody.
guys, welcome back.
Joe here.
Kevin.
So we ended the last episode in a very dark place.
Yeah, now just before we get into this, guys, just a heads up, there are certain words in this discussion
We
that
can't
we are
say.
not allowed to say because the YouTube uh, algorithm
They'll block it.
will block the video.
Yeah,
So if it sounds like we're dancing around certain obvious words when it comes to this conversation, it's because we are,
yeah.
and because we have to.
But you
Um,
know what happened,
but yeah, you know what happened. You know what Rebecca did.
or
Um,
tried to do.
Right. And it was really uncomfortable for us. We both kind of reacted differently, which is completely fine because there's a weird dichotomy there, right? Because one, we know she's going to be okay,
Yeah,
right? We know she's going to come out the other side.
I did not think she was going to do that.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
again, that's another thing. It's like, are we really going here? And when the answer was yes, um, but I was still
yeah. I was cracking
like,
jokes, and then all of a sudden
right.
she starts,
I know,
and I
I
was
know.
like, "Oh," I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh no."
and I kind of understand that. I was uncomfortable the whole way. Just as the topic makes me uncomfortable. That's just a
No,
personal thing.
me too. I think I use humor as like a
I was going to say the exact same
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
which is people always say like everybody reacts to being uncomfortable to grief differently,
Hmm.
and I completely agree with that. I was going to say I was in an acting class when I was in college that we all had to take for my theater major, and the professor was telling an anecdote. He was kind of like Gene Cousinowing a little bit, which why I find Gene so funny on Barry's because he's like method but not great at it. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
He's teaching
Yeah, he's
it.
very self centered kind of stuff. Anyway, he's telling this anecdote, and I won't get in too much into it, but basically the anecdote was his infant son wouldn't stop crying, and it almost led to violence before he stopped himself.
Oh my
Right?
god!
And he's just telling, and he's just,
Oh
and
my
he's just,
god!
right.
Why would you consciously tell somebody that?
That's the whole room. So everybody's staring at this guy, right?
Yeah.
In horror, and I kind of laughed. It wasn't funny, and
Yeah.
everyone thought I was a monster for laughing at this horrible story.
I would
But
laugh too.
it was only because I was so uncomfortable. It was like an uncomfortable outlet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it was horrifying to hear this story about like this guy saying, "I told myself, Jim, that's your son." I was like, "What? You're such a psycho. You are such a psychopath." And I laughed because it was so
Okay,
uncomfortable.
that's funny.
It is.
That's funny.
In retrospect, it's funny,
That's
and
hilarious.
because nothing obviously happened to the kid.
Oh my god,
I know,
Jim,
but
that's your son. That's hilarious.
and he's telling a class full of
Oh man.
20-year-olds that
Oh, everyone's just mortified. They're all
everyone's
tired.
mortified, and
It's the morning.
it was like a 9 o'clock class. I like it, but only because I was like in such shock. So I mean, I totally get it. This was a tough episode for me to watch.
Mhm.
Just, I know she's going to be okay,
Yeah.
but the storytelling is so good, and the performances and the writing and the direction are so good that you still get caught up in the storytelling.
And it leads to a new formula now. If
Right.
you think about it, so we've hit bottom. I think everybody on
I
Patreon kind of said that.
good. I figured I don't know where you can go
We
from
need
this moment.
to
Yeah,
see the road to recovery now.
of course.
What does that look like? Is it
Right.
Joshless? Is it
Right.
manless in general? I don't know.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think the show would be the show without her doing something like that. I mean, getting into some kind of hijinks. But,
Sure.
but still,
Right. And I think you're right. And I think the two things to keep in mind: one, it's still going to be funny.
yeah,
This is a comedy, even though this is not a funny moment at all. And and once we got to the actual moment, it's like, oh, this isn't funny. Of her saying, "I need help,"
yeah.
after the act, that's not funny. But this is still a comedy that's got a season and a half left.
Hmm.
So I expect there to be plenty of humor.
Sure, musical numbers and all that. Yeah,
And I expect plenty of backsliding too, because that's human nature, right?
yeah.
I start working on myself in XYZ ways. There's going to be relapse is a good word for it,
In
right?
terms of any person struggling
Right.
or addicts, whatever.
Right.
I'm willing to bet there's a little bit of sliding backwards.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like she's like, oh, I need help, and now everything's just gonna be an uphill, easy
I'm
climb the rest
great
of the
now,
way.
yeah.
Yeah,
This is not
exactly.
gonna happen.
Not gonna happen, and it's not realistic to assume it should. And despite the fact that this is a musical comedy, they handle a lot of these issues in a very fair and realistic manner. I feel like,
They do
which makes this show so good.
for it being a musical.
Right? Yeah, they crush this show.
And also, I mean, we've said it a million times. We're horrible at predicting the show.
This is
Horrible.
the worst show. This is the worst show for predictions for
Yeah,
me by
so
far.
Everything we just said, we could just throw that
We
out the
could be
window.
completely
yeah, we could just throw that out the window.
I have accepted the fact since it's, early in season 1 that
Yeah,
I'm going
season
to be
1.
wrong a lot.
We thought that was bottom in season 1.
Yeah, we were
Boy.
like, oh, children.
Yeah.
Oh, we were so young and
So
naive.
naive, yeah.
All right. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. If you guys are watching us on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel.
Hello and welcome.
If you want to hit that like button for us, leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you think of the show. What's your favorite moment or song?
Keep us spoiler free, please. You've done a good job so far of that.
Up to this point, what's your favorite?
Right, absolutely.
I think ours is I Go to the Zoo.
I Go to the Zoo has to be right up there with what's the first song that she did? The Sexy Getting Ready song is good, and You Ruined Everything.
I like the Wind one too.
The Wind one was great. There's a lot of great songs throughout this.
So you can make a whole list of them.
Sure.
And if you don't mind too, guys, hit that subscribe button for us so you can stay up to date all of our new episodes we have coming out for you. It's not just Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. We have a ton of stuff, man.
Absolutely.
Ton of stuff coming your way. So keep an eye on that.
Absolutely. We have some new stuff starting out. We're finished with Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Also, if you'd like to see the full-length reaction to this episode of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, excuse me, the hiccups here, and everything else that we've watched or are watching, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page, where you can kind of see the entire backlog of everything we've watched, the full length with us. Bring your own copy sync and watch how we felt the first time going entirely through everything in its entirety.
Yeah, you don't have to do this by yourself. We can help. We can take turns.
Yeah, you have a family at home. Don't be silly. Rebecca needs me, and my family will understand. Could you please just let everyone know that she's okay?
I can do it. I'll get in touch with everyone. I want to help.
Great.
Hey.
You need to leave. I can't have Rebecca seeing you or hearing you. I don't want her to be upset.
Look at their faces.
Dude, you should go.
I want to talk to Rebecca. And last time I saw her, we had a really bad fight, and I said I wanted her to go away.
I'm so sorry.
I get his
I get
impulse,
it.
yeah.
I failed you.
That's not how it works,
I'm
man.
such a coward.
For a second, yeah.
There's some great psychiatrists on staff here, and we'll work together to get you the right help.
I didn't even want to die. I just wanted the pain to stop.
I know. And don't you worry about anyone else right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, you focused on other people a little too much right now.
So the whole office is going in on a cupcake basket for Rebecca. Do you want to kick in some money, or probably doing your own thing?
Yeah, no, I'm doing my own thing.
Okay. Are you okay? This must be tough, and I know you care about her.
George, we're done here.
For sure.
Hi everyone, I'm Valencia Perez, Rebecca Bunch's friend. I wanted to just post a quick update on Rebecca because Rebecca went through a tough time a few days ago, obviously, but she's stable now, and she appreciates everyone thinking about her.
And they said that in a couple of days, you can go home.
But that's what I'm nervous about.
I will not let you leave here without a plan.
Okay.
What a good friend.
Yeah, she's a great friend.
Rebecca.
He's like, okay.
First question, how many meds am I going to be on? Can you give me the daytime version of whatever it is?
Your treatment protocol is not centered on medication.
Wait, what?
Yeah, how's she supposed to get better with no medicine?
I think with the right diagnosis and treatment, you can get a lot better.
Wait, so you have a new diagnosis for me?
Childhood abandonment disorder.
Good call.
You're right. Her dad bailing, her mom bailing. She's a runner.
Trauma, yeah.
Kind of like Don Draper.
Also important to not look up the diagnosis online before we have a chance to get into it, okay?
Got it. I will not look up anything if you don't want me to.
My opinion that you exhibit many of the characteristics of borderline personality disorder.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, the opening, yeah.
A person with BPD is essentially someone who has difficulty regulating their emotions.
Just a couple questions. How did I get BPD? Is BPD curable? How serious is BPD? Is BPD easy to fix? Is BPD genetic? Did I get the BPD from my mother? I got it from my mother, right?
And we'll talk about it a lot more, luckily, in your group therapy, which is where we're headed right now.
So you're just gonna pull a Yoda and not tell me anything I want to know before I'm ready to know it.
Did you tell all your bots that we had to take all the knives out of the house? Also, maybe ask them if they know how to jailbreak an avocado, because I do not.
Heather, we're live.
Yours, Nathaniel J. Plimpton III, Esquire.
Delete this.
Esquire.
Delete all of that. That is terrible.
Because we are planning to visit Rebecca at home this weekend. I'm kind of nervous because I'm terrible with death. All like splayed out.
Oh, is that what happened with his
Eyes
mom?
rolled into the back of his head.
Jesus.
Tongue hanging
George.
out.
I don't have an illness. I have a personality disorder. It's not something I have. It's
illness,
something
I
I,
mean-
am.
If you hate this
Just ignored
diagnosis
it.
so much, then let's get a second opinion. Second opinions are very common. And we can ask Dr. Akopian.
We'll have 2 Ds.
Oh my God, Paul, you're totally right. I mean, she knows me way better than Dr. Shin.
How do I spin this for the worldwide audience?
Oh, Valencia.
Valencia needs her own intervention here.
When I was 10, did you try to kill yourself? Not now, Bernice!
Here's Paula.
Bernice.
I saw you, Mom, passed out on the floor, and your eyes were rolling back in your head, and I tried to wake you up.
Nathaniel, enough. Your mother had the flu and got dehydrated, so she went sailing for a month with your Aunt Sissy in Rhode Island.
That's
What?
right. I brought you back that anchor keychain.
To know the truth. My friend just tried to kill herself, and I can't reach out to her at all because every time I think about her, and it makes me think of you that night. And I get panicked, and I can't breathe, and I don't know what that is.
I love this.
Daniel, I hate to see you so upset. But it's just so unpleasant to dredge up the past.
Things happened to you since you started working in that new office. You're getting peppery, and I don't use that word lightly.
Peppery.
Now, congratulations.
Doing is pathetic and vain and stupid and cringy and trendy and selfish and basic.
Oh my God, wait, hold up. Rebecca's story and her courage and my courage, sharing her courage, is
God.
inspiring an entire movement. And that's what people want to feel.
You're like, so.
I'm glad to see you here again. How has everything been going? How are you feeling?
Not great.
I like the denial.
What is Rebecca saying about me? I've been there basically every day. Haven't heard her name once. You don't have to shield me. I can take it.
Yeah,
Being
that's
suicidal
true.
has nothing to do with any one life event or person. It's more of a general mental illness thing. Yeah, I ruined her. Suicide is a cardinal sin, and I almost sin-assisted. No, this is on me.
Sin-assisted?
I've got to do something. I don't think so.
Yes, thank you,
Rebecca,
Hector.
It sounds like
Hector is
you
100%
don't
right.
have accurate information about borderline. In order to receive a diagnosis for BPD, a person has to have at least 5 of the following 9 tendencies. Just keep an open mind.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I know. So not you, right?
Paula, stop.
Aw, I don't have 5. I have 9.
I think it's important too for people to realize if you're watching the show and you're like, I have that, don't freak out.
Also don't self-diagnose. Go to a
Don't
doctor if you're
self-diagnose,
having
yeah.
these issues.
Everybody experiences that in some degree.
Right.
If it's frequently.
You're right. You have to get diagnosed. Yeah.
But I'm very tired, so I'm just gonna go to bed. Alone.
Because I wanted to apologize for how I acted last night.
Oh, no, that's okay.
I know you don't like to rehash the past, and I respect that. I love you, Mom.
When you were 10, I was going through a hard time. I made a mistake with my sleeping pills. Anyway, you're right.
So a very wealthy
I should
person's
have told you.
care center of some kind. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so we may have been a touch worried. You didn't answer the door when we knocked.
I had earbuds in.
Oh, earbuds.
I've been telling all these people to have hope when really I am so sad and so scared. And please, promise me you'll never do it again.
I would love to promise you that. I hope I can get the help that I need, but
Yes.
the truth is I don't know what the future holds. And Josh is irrelevant. It's not even about Josh.
It's not.
Thank you. That really means a lot.
Because I don't think she needs a relationship right now, but he seems to be the healthiest relationship for her.
Right.
So I think he'll hang around. I think
for sure.
I think he'll wait until she's in a better place because Nathaniel seems quite caring. He's not maybe at first it started off as a lustful thing where he just wanted to hook up with her.
Right.
But now it's he was sleeping in her house. He
For sure.
the
Yeah.
gator, got her flowers from his mom's garden. So he seems to be doing all the right things. I just think it's a matter of whenever she's ready.
Well, as toxic as she's been for everybody, and she has for a lot of people, look at the growth of so many of the characters because of her influence. Nathaniel, Paula, Daryl, Heather, even I think Josh a little bit, Valencia for sure. I mean, she's been a good friend to have around, despite the fact that she's been a terrible friend to have around, if that makes any sense.
That's the thing. It's for as terrible as she's been,
right?
For
Her behavior, right?
Her behavior, right? We've said many times, she's being the worst,
right?
she's not the worst.
No.
You know, I mean, her dad's the worst, but she's not the worst. She's got some pretty bad tendencies, some pretty bad qualities, but at the same time, she's a person.
Well, I think a lot of
she's a very broken person.
Sure, of course, and obviously we've known from season 1 that she just needed help. She needed psychological help.
I think we've said that like almost every episode.
Just about, yeah. Well, the show definitely drives the point home, and this is the first time she seems to be really open to getting it in a real way. But no, I feel like part of the problem with that she's had and the characters have had on the show is that their own dysfunctions matching with hers have sent all of them spiraling at times before emerging better. They've all been like mini versions of where she's at now.
Yeah.
To where they've, their interactions with Rebecca have kind of let them, see and mirror their own deficiencies in their lives.
Yeah.
And then they've been able to correct because they obviously aren't suffering the same level of affliction that she is.
Sure.
So I kind of feel like Daryl and Paula and, again, Heather and Valencia and to a lesser extent Josh, all of them have kind of done a micro journey of what she's on in a much bigger and more difficult sense. She's got a tougher road ahead, which is why it's taking her longer. But she's kind of gotten all of them kind of on the right track, either on purpose or inadvertently.
And I love that.
Yeah, I do too.
I love that we finally see her growing.
Yeah.
The Daryl moment was like so heartwarming.
It really was.
He's like, he drove 3 hours in the desert.
Daryl would probably not be out and dating White Josh if it wasn't for Rebecca.
Truly.
Huge change in his life, right?
And this was like one of the most iconic moments of the show, seeing them all hug each other.
For sure.
That's great.
It
and
is.
Josh on the outside.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about the medication thing in the show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not okay, so I'm not gonna say that I'm anti-medication at all
Sure.
because I think that it does help a lot of people, for sure.
Right.
And you should be medicated if you need to be medicated. But I like the fact that they're approaching, hey, let's not take the medicine route. You've done it, you've tried it. Let's try something else.
Right. Again, psychiatrists are people who have a degree in medicine and psychology, advanced degrees in both. They know a lot more than I do, and sometimes they're going to give medication to help a treatment plan, and sometimes they aren't. So I don't have a strong yay medication or no medication. Sure. All people are different people, right? And all and all I know psychological disorders or whatever are different disorders and affect people differently. So it's up to the individual doctor to find the right treatment plan for everybody.
And I don't want to sound like Tom Cruise in that interview with Matt Lauer when he was like being glib, Matt. He's like talking about how he knows psychiatry.
Right.
But I think but personally I'm like, okay, let's find the route that doesn't need medicine because you don't know what's in a lot of that stuff.
Sure.
But at the same time, if you need it, you need it. Like,
right.
Some
people need it.
It does wonders for a lot of people. Like Brooke, he was talking about Brooke Shields was the conversation of that.
Postpartum depression.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, as I recall.
I don't know what she was taking, but they were arguing over that, and it's like you're not Brooke Shields.
You're not her therapist.
You're not, and
I don't know her. Yeah.
And what he was saying had valid points. Like I mean, there's a certain degree of exercise helps and vitamins and stuff. But at the same time, it's like no, sometimes it doesn't cut it.
Right.
Sometimes you feel horrible, and sometimes you need help.
Yeah, sometimes I'm sick, and sometimes eating right and getting enough sleep makes me feel better. Sometimes I need medication. That's just how it is.
So
that's physical illness and mental illness. That kind of works for both.
It's not a one size fits all.
For sure.
So I like that they're taking that approach in a show.
Right.
That the show's not black and white.
Yeah, and I love the fact that he didn't say no medication for you, medication bad. Mm-hmm. He said there will probably be some medication, but it's not going to be the primary focus
figure it
of
out
your treatment.
First.
Right. Yeah, you have to there should be trial and error because again, all people are different people. Mm-hmm. Rebecca's going to go into group, and I suspect I don't know how much we're going to see of it. I hope we do, but I suspect she's going to figure out that not all of these people are exactly the same, just like she's not.
And we had somebody on Patreon talking about how they were misdiagnosed once, and that can be frustrating. You know what I mean?
It happens.
A doctor just writes you a script, and it's like, well, this doesn't make me feel better.
Right, the horses not zebras thing, where it's it's probably this.
Yeah. It's I want to know.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to figure it out. So I like that she's finally getting an opportunity to, look under the hood.
Yeah, she's needed it the whole time.
Yeah,
we've known she's needed it the whole time.
Yeah,
I remember the first episode when she's dumping her meds down this sink and I'm miserable, but Josh is going to make me happy. It's like, whoa, sister, you need therapy is what you need.
Yeah, I think,
and that was episode 1, season 1.
So I think that means if you're on medication and it's still not helping and you're still feeling so despaired,
right?
talk to your doctor.
Talk to your doctor.
Talk to your
Don't
doctor.
take yourself off medication. Talk to your doctor.
Here's
and
what
say,
you don't do. You don't move to California.
Right. You don't dump your pills down the sink and say, I don't need this anymore.
You figure it out.
Right.
All right. Well, hey, this was a great episode.
It was,
and,
it was, they are doing such a great job of handling really touchy subject matter really, really well. This
Yeah.
show is amazing.
It's such a great show.
It
man.
is. We'll catch you in the next one, guys.
See ya.